Okay, you guys, so today I just wanted to record a video. This is in the middle of the week. I'm gonna be heading out of town for a few days, so I just wanted to make a video so you guys have some content. I'm gonna upload this on Saturday or Sunday, so you guys will see this video. But today I just wanted to give you an update on the old S60R that we have, the cheap one that we got. So we swapped the wheels. I got Michelin Pilot Sports for these wheels. We checked, they were not bent, so we swapped into my brother's car. This is a much more important car, and he cares about the looks more than I do. I care more about the comfort of this car, and then if I'm going to resell it, I mean, the more stock it is, the better it is probably for the customer that's going to buy it. So that's one of the things we did. And then you guys also will see, I'll show you a clip after this intro. We did a timing belt on it, timing belt, water pump, and all the pulleys on this car because the water pump was seeping, so I just did the whole kit on it. And then we did an upper radiator hose on that. I did a coolant change. If you guys are following, if any of you guys are following me on Instagram, you guys probably saw my stories that I had issues with the cooling system and figuring that out, so I got it figured out. So you got all that you're gonna see in this video. Okay, so today I'm working on this guy. Look at this, all this. So anyways, I'm replacing the timing belt, water pump, everything as a kit from IPD. So this is the old one. You can see right here, you see all the streaks. You can see the water has been leaking from here for quite a while. So that's where our water loss was coming from. So yeah, it's a good thing I decided to change it. So today I'm just gonna check. I'm not gonna do a DIY video. If you wanted to do that, you can check my first S60R video, S60R restoration job that I did. I kind of did a DIY there, so if you guys wanted to check it out, you know, see that video there. But yeah, right now I'm just gonna knock this out and yeah, fix the leak. So we got a brand new belt on, brand new pump, as you guys can see, pulleys, tensioner is perfect. I put it on, I spin it twice, the crankshaft 4 times to get it around, a couple times to get the belt centered, and also double checking the timing marks on the cover here. So I verified the timing marks on both cams line up, and on a crankshaft it's perfect as well. So I am good to go. So I'm just gonna start closing everything back up. I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and yeah, timing belt's done, water pump is done. Whew, am I relieved. So now we're just gonna put everything back, but other than that, I'm happy. Okay, so we got the Continental timing belt water pump kit and all the pulleys from IPD. Here's right here, got the sticker, Continental sticker. So yeah, we got all that from IPD. I swapped that out. I took some video about when I was doing it, so I'm gonna show it like I said in this video. But that, and then the upper radiator hose from IPD also, we replaced that. And then we got the OEM Volvo Fluke, the coolant in the system. So yeah, we got it all changed. Everything's looking good. I just put on it like what, 65 miles, 65 70 miles. Oh, actually no, I went to church too. So anyways, I put on maybe around 80 90 miles afterwards, after I did all that. So no issues at all, idling in traffic, freeways, running perfectly now. So now let's start with the issues we had. So after I did the timing belt, water pump, everything I did, we swapped out the boost controller for an original one, because we had some boost spikes with the aftermarket one in the car. So Brendan was kind enough to bring me one that he had laying around, so we swapped that out. And then also after I did the timing water pump, I started driving in the morning with no AC on. And I get to my location, I park the car, idles for 5 minutes, I turn it off, and I stand out for a few minutes, everything was good. And I walk inside and I come out, and the upper radiator hose, boom, it had a hole in it, pretty much it split. So it had too much pressure in the system, and the upper radiator hose went after the car was pretty much off for like 5 minutes. So that told me right away that the fan is most likely didn't turn on when the car shut off, and there was no AC, nothing. There's a certain temperature when the car is, was idling, the radiator fan has to come on to cool the system down. If that doesn't, if the temperature doesn't reach the point where the radiator fan kicks in and turns and cools the system down, you'll have issues within the cooling system. So anyways, I'm gonna explain it farther. So like I said, the issues, they came up pretty much, if you guys seen my story, Instagram story, I was kind of posting there. So what was happening, the cooling fans, if anybody's wondering, in these cars, the S60Rs, they come on at about 223 degrees Fahrenheit. So you guys can have that for your information. I already verified that. I had a scan to live data and I watched it come on. So I had water in the system temporarily, and the guy that I bought it from also had water in the system. After I did the time-of water pump, I think I put water, if I'm not mistaken. Or anyways, if I did put coolant, I put very low mixture. So I had more water in it than coolant. And if you guys know, the temperature point, the boiling point of water is a lot lower than it is to coolant. If you do like 70-30 mixture of coolant to water, more coolant, then the boiling point is about 230 to 240. You know, the lower the coolant to water ratio, the higher the lower the boiling point. So I maybe made it like a 60 to 40 or 70 to 30 water to coolant ratio now to increase the boiling point. And guess what? When I tested it with water, right when the temperature hits 220 with water, the system starts to pressurize, and I felt the pumps, and I had to, turn the AC on in the system to cool the system down from pressurizing. Then I got the water out, flushed the system out with the hose, and I had the bottom hose, radiator hose out, and I flushed the system out as clean as possible. And then I put the coolant in it. I got the Volvo coolant from IPD, and then I mixed it about, because probably in the system there was some water in it, so I put about half a gallon into the system. Then the rest of the gallon I mixed it 50-50, and then I filled the rest of the system 50-50 mixture. So I probably have like 60 to 40 coolant to water ratio. And I start the car up, burped the system, made sure the thermostat opened in time and all that. And then it went to 20 to 21. I checked the hoses, no pressure at all. So that right away told me that pretty much fixed my issue, because right when it hit 223, the cooling fan came on with no AC was off, everything was off, and the cooling fans came on, and it never got past like 223. Right when it hit 223, the cooling fans come on and it drops. So that fixed my issue, because before the temperature wasn't even able to get past 220 and the water in the system would start boiling and creating a lot of pressure, and the temperature didn't reach the 223 mark to cool, for the fans to come on. So yeah, I was really happy I figured that out, because with AC on, the cooling fans worked. There was no issues with them. I checked the fuses, everything. I literally checked the whole system. I was like, I was kind of getting a little frustrated because I couldn't figure out everything's checked out perfectly, And then I thought about it, it was like water in the system. It could be that the temperature in this car is set a little bit higher, above the boiling point of water, and it didn't climb. And exactly, I was spot on. So, I put the proper mixture of coolant in it. Now it works perfectly. AC, blows cold and everything as it used to be, and the fans come on without the AC now. Everything, the temperature reaches the radiator fan to turn on. Everything is fine in that department. And another incident I wanted to tell you guys about. I took my car for alignment after I swapped the wheels and everything. Got the alignment guy pretty much went for a test drive, and the car left him stranded. He's like, I think he stomped on the gas, and he was like, I felt pop, and the car shut off. When he parked it, when he came to a stop, idle, car shut off. He's like, I don't know what it is. He parked it, so he left him stranded, and I was at the alignment shop. My first thought, I was like, okay, maybe the TCV failed, but it didn't really make too much sense. If a TCV failed, the car still would drive. It wouldn't boost, but it would drive, but it turned off. So guess I messaged my friend and all that. I was like, hey, this, he's like, yeah, sounds like a boost leak. I was like, I scanned the system, it says something with the TCV, the boost pressure and all that. So he's like, yeah. And then I started looking. Guess what? The driver's side radiator hose, the plastic one, the radiator, what am I talking about? The intercooler hose off the intercooler, the plastic one on the driver's side, slid off. So whoever took it off did not tighten it. The same issue I had with the lower radiator hose. When I got to work, it slid off, it wasn't even tight. This is the same issue with the intercooler pipe. It slid off too because it wasn't tight. So yeah, this car kind of left us stranded a little bit. But you know, it's simple things, just, you know, tightening everything. And also I found a ground right by the ECU on the driver's side that bolts to the frame that was really loose. It wasn't even tight. So it's just stuff, random stuff like that I keep finding on this car and just, you know, fixing along the way. I'm kind of enjoying the process. At the same time, I'm really happy that this car has not failed me when I was going to work and back, because that would be really frustrating. This car kept me on the road. If something did happen, it was next to my house, so it was, you know, somewhere where I was parked. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, other than that, this car is great. The shocks feel like they're on the way out. I mean, they're not failed yet, but they're getting there. They're not great, so the shocks may need to be replaced soon. And then the brake module, the brake light that I showed you guys, the brake module needs to be sent out and repaired, or we can just buy a new one and program it at the dealership. But you know, the brake module needs to be programmed to the car, so it's not just something you can buy and plug in and it will work. So it needs to be programmed to the car specifically. So yeah, other than that, I mean, the shocks and the brake module, that's probably the only two things this car all it needs. I may buy the intake cover for the intake because the intake is open, but other than that, I mean, it's perfect. So I'm gonna keep driving it, put a couple hundred more miles on it, verify everything, and then I don't know, I'll decide. Either I'll keep it for work or I'll just flip it and then just buy like a manual to build and modify. If I do end up keeping this, I probably will modify it too, so it doesn't really matter to me. Okay, and then I also am planning to do the block test, you know, to check if the head gasket is blown or there's a crack in the block. You know, the tester that you put the purple fluid in and you stick it onto your coolant reservoir, and then I think you rev it or idle it for 5 minutes or so, and then if you have a crack in the block or if you have a head gasket that's bad, the fluid will change colors. So I'll buy that tester and it'll just test that. I mean, nothing else failed before that. I'll just do that test, and then that will be it for the engine based stuff. You know, the engine's running healthy, running good, smooth, everything's fine now. So I just got to do that test also, just to double check, triple check that, you know, so if I do resell it, I don't screw somebody over. I don't like selling something that's bad, you know. Sell the car always fine and then they end up being, you know, head gasket bad or cracked block. So I'll do that test just to double check to be safe. So other than that, I mean, it's running great. And then this cover that I was talking about, I want to buy that cover to cover that up because I don't like it being open. So I'm gonna call up my friends and then ask them if they have one. I'm pretty sure they will, so I'll get that cover on for there. And then other than that, it's great. I mean, as you guys can see, it's running great. I've been driving it to work. It's 32 miles each way, and I drove it to church a few times. So it's great. It's been a good car so far, you know, after the repairs that I made and, you know, the coolant and all that. So everything is healthy so far in it. Can't really find any faults, and it looks great. Look at it. I mean, it has some scuffs on the bumper, but I mean, hey, who cares really? It's an old car, and I put some bolts there, some bolts on the intercooler that were missing, and on the boost line, the bolt for the boost, boost sensor on the intercooler pipe. I think that's what it's called. So I put those bolts there just to tighten and everything. So I just been tightening and fixing everything along the way. Nothing failed on me that was major, just little stuff here and there. So yeah, pretty happy actually so far. Okay, this is the manual S60R. We have this pipe is still good, no more oil everywhere, everything's dry. So we're just putting nicer plugs in there. You know, remember this video that I put for my P3 Iridium IX? These are one step colder plugs, the performance plugs, so they fire a lot easier and a lot healthier. So we got those plugs for this car, so we're gonna just pop those plugs in. And then Brendan actually hooked us up with the actual rubber hose for the PCV instead of the plastic one, the updated one. So we're just gonna put that on too soon. So yeah, and then an update for this bad boy right here. We actually ended up having to send out the valve body. So I took the valve body out of the car, and then I actually sent it out to the transmission building company because they couldn't, it was hard to find because I had a custom one of some sort, they said. So I sent it out to them and they're gonna build mine. I sent the wrong one out to them, so they paid for everything. So we're just waiting now, trying to get the car fixed. And I told him I have a tuning appointment in a week, next week, by then on Friday. So he's gonna try to fix it and ship it to me so I can put it together by that Let's cross our fingers. Hopefully he makes that deadline. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update video. I didn't want to leave you guys without any video for the weekend. I try to upload videos every week, and I'm just trying to keep up with the cars that we have. It's been hard. I've been really busy at work, so I'm just trying to keep up. So this one is just going to be mainly on the older car video, obviously, as you guys saw, but I also gave you guys an update on the P3 and then the manual S60R. We actually, one thing I actually forgot, the S60R, the manual one, we actually ended up meeting up again afterwards, and he adjusted the tune, so he, turned up the car a bit, so it's it runs a lot stronger now. I'll make a separate video completely on just modification, exhaust sound, and 0 to 60 and pulls on that manual S60R soon. So I'll make that video afterwards, after we get it, the plugs in there and the pipes swapped and everything, so we get it, to where we want it, and then I'll do that video on that. And then yeah, so that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as usual, see you next time.